Well, hello there, Ingafay here. I am a business coach for network marketers and direct sellers, and I'm so excited to share with you one of my six-figure girlfriends in direct sales, Megan. She is a single mom, she's a business coach, and has a strong passion for sales and leadership, and she's backstage. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring her up so we can talk to her and find out get the 411 on how to grow our business in an hour. Don't you guys want to know how to do that? Don't we all want to know how to do that? Well, we're about to find out how to do that with Megan. Without further ado, here's my girlfriend, Megan. What's up, girl?
What's up, everybody? How are you? Happy day. What's going on?
Not a whole lot on this end, but girl, we got to get into the juiciness. We want to know how to thrive in network marketing in just an hour. So you got to tell us the 411. But before we get into that, we want to learn a little bit more about you. We know that you have been thriving in network marketing, and just tell us about who you are, who you serve, and what do you help them with.
What's up, everybody? So excited to be here. So thankful for my girlfriend Ingafay having me on today. Was super blessed and honored to be invited to share with her today. And depending where you're watching this, drop a 1 in the comments below. We'd love to connect with you, get to know you a little bit better, and just say hello. So go ahead and drop that 1 in the comments. Super excited you're here. We have some great stuff in store today, but first I'll tell you a little bit about me and why, you should be like, okay, who is this Megan girl? Well, I've been in the industry for just about almost 10 years. I've seen it go through different phases, or kind of that old traditional way where now we're doing this social media thing. And I am a single mom in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I have a 4-year-old son, and I'm super blessed to have grown a team of over 2,000 men and women in the industry who've built to become a multi-million-dollar organization. And so I did that all while raising this kid over the last few years. And it wasn't until, it was last year where I just kind of had a really significant issue happen where I'll tell you more about that in a minute, where I really found a passion, not just for our team, but for the industry as a whole. And so I help faith-based women grow #1 teams and thriving businesses in network marketing with just 1 hour a day. And it's a simple, proven system. It's a simple blueprint that I use to really optimize time, leverage your time, and maximize results, because I'm all about getting the most out of your time, right? So that we can actually, create more memories with our family and build that thriving team without compromising time with friends and family. So that's a little bit about me.
Wow, Megan, you got it going on, girl. I'm sure everybody wants to know how to do this hour thing. So I'm curious, what do you work on a day-to-day basis in your business?
Yeah. So that's a great question. Gosh, we just launched our ebook, and I had a printed format here, and I was like, where is it? I can't find it, right? The struggle of, running around as a mom. But basically, I developed this blueprint last year because if you're anything like me, you're probably running around trying to grow your business, and you've got your Facebook groups, and you've got to message people, and you've got to do 3-way calls and Zoom parties and virtual parties and home parties. And then you got to be on this Zoom with your upline. Then you got to do a coaching call. Then you met someone at the gym, and you got to remember to send them the sample, and you got to remember to follow up with them in a week. And are you getting where I'm going with this? Your head is probably feeling pretty frazzled. And so I help women go from frazzled to free using my 1 hour workday blueprint. And so but first, before I tell you exactly what that looks like, it's a daily method of operations that I use. I'm going to tell you how this actually was formed, because it was formed from a very stressful time in my life. And this just to me is how God uses our pains for purpose, right? So last February, we had built a pretty solid team. Things were rocking and rolling. Took off for 2 weeks to Disney World with my son, get some sunshine. I got a phone call. Ma'am, your house is flooding. My house completely flooded. I came back to Dallas was devastated. My brand new home that I had just unpacked here, like put everything away, was flooded. And my son's school was flooded as well. And I had just actually enrolled him in daycare about the year before. And so I remember it was like 6 a.m. and I was sitting on the ground, the moldy, wet floor. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, I have this team that relies on me. I have customers that rely on me. I have an upline that relies on me. I'm going to have my son all day at home. And I have too much anxiety to have this 4-year-old, 3-year-old at the time running around and trying to do my stuff with him, right? Like everything. There's no way I could keep up with all these Zoom calls and everything. So what I did was, he was sleeping and I grabbed a sheet of paper. I was like, okay, I probably can fit in an hour a day, like nooks and crannies, right? 15 minutes in the morning, 15 at lunch, 20 at night, just nooks and crannies in the day. And so I said, what are the things that I absolutely have to do every day to not just even maintain, or to at least maintain my business, maybe grow it even by a little bit. And I jotted down just all these things that I know, okay, this is going to make sure I keep on top of my customers. This is going to make sure I keep on top of attracting new customers and prospects and helping my team members. And so I made this checklist, and it's called the 1-hour workday checklist. And when you stay until the end, we're actually going to give you this blueprint that you can take, and it's step by step. But basically, day to day, I focus on moving the needle in my business closer to where I want to go. And most often at the end of the day, as network marketers and direct sellers and social sellers, side hustlers, whatever you want to call yourself, like we wear many hats, right? At the end of the day, sometimes we ask ourselves, did I even attract one new customer? Like, I spent 4 hours doing all these things on Zoom, organizing my calendar, maybe coaching a hostess, but did I actually attract new customers to my business? And you go to sleep, you put your head on the pillow at night, and you're like, you're just still feeling super frazzled. You have these lists of to-dos, and you just want to create that sustainable income so that you can spend more time with your family. If you feel that, if that's you, go ahead and drop a 2 in the comments, because that's what I was feeling. And so I was so excited when this started working for me that I had to share it with the world. And it's become this framework that's helped other women just like me to actually stay on top of their business and actually grow a thriving team with just under an hour a day. So the biggest thing in this industry, is that consistency, day to day. And if we can't be consistent day by day, we'll never get where we want to go, right? But we've got to fill even just the 15 minutes. So often I hear, I'm going on a rampage now, sorry, Inga, but so often I hear in this industry, well, I don't know if I have time. I don't have 10, 20 hours a week. Okay, it's not how much time you have, it's what you do with the time that you do have. So when you can take 15 minutes and know exactly what you're supposed to do, you can optimize your time. You can get the most and leverage that time and get the most results out of that. So I don't know if that kind of answered your question, Inga, but that's a little bit about, I'm all about optimizing my day by attracting more customers using my attraction marketing formula.
So it sounds like what you are doing is your daily goal is centered around how many new people you have attracted to your business. Is
Correct.
that okay? So and I guess I'm sure you'll probably tell us, but tell us a little bit more about this 1-day workday. How is it broken down? I mean, because it sounds like you got a lot of stuff that you have mentioned to us about following up with the team, following up with your upline, taking care of your customers, finding new prospects. Yeah, give us the 411 on that.
Yeah, great question. So what I did recently was, this checklist has been constantly evolving for me. And we just actually revamped it and put it in our ebook. And so I broke it down into 3 sections. And the first is engagement. The next is connection. And the last is action, like those income producing activities. And so, but if you don't have new people that are coming in, you can't, convert them, shall I say, right? So I teach really how you can engage with the people that are currently on your social media. Matter of fact, I didn't know I was going to do this, but I'm going to give you a post right now that will 10 times your Facebook algorithms today. Okay, so I'll give that to you in a second. I'm going to drop a note for myself, but let me finish this thought. I'm going to show you in the blueprint how you can actually engage people. So you've got to be conversing with people. This is the thing. So often on social media, we're just scrolling like through the feed. And the truth is, if we were to treat social media like in person day to day, we'd have success, right? So people are like, well, what do I post on Facebook, Megan? When someone messages me, what do I say? I'm like, well, what would you do if someone came up to you in a Starbucks and said hello? What would you say? Right? When I walk into a Starbucks, what do they say? So if you see a post on social media, comment, right? Get to know them, engage. What would you do if you were at the park? If you strolled past your neighbors on the sidewalk, what would you say? Good morning, right? Oh, did the dog get a haircut? I don't know, right? When you're seeing people's feeds about their dogs, their kids, like post, create engagement, right? The next is connection. So you're connecting already with the people on your feed, but how are you creating new connections? And I wish I had time to go into this right now, but there's actually groups. There's a way that you can actually create free leads on Facebook and create new connections. There's a special way that you can do that. But most importantly, like just start to connect with people on Facebook, add people, right? When you see people out and about, like my biggest thing is like, oh my gosh, are you on Facebook? Like I don't ask them, can I add you on Facebook? Remember like, can I get your number? No, like in the traditional way, what would we say? Awesome. What's your phone number? So I can follow up with you next week, right? When we gave some of the samples. So if you're meeting people out and about and you're not connecting them with them on whatever your social media platform is, you're missing the boat, because this is how you can basically get them into your free funnel for a sense. Like so your social media platforms are funnels. And if you're not finding a way to stay connected with them, which right now social media is the best way because it nurtures for you in a sense. You post once and it sends it into the social media world. Now you've got to, if you only have their phone number, you've got to remember to follow up with every person one by one. And that's just not scalable, right? At least not with an hour a day. So connecting with new people, whether it's outside, adding them on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, whatever platform you're using, but then also, growing on social media in the communities that exist already and making new friends there authentically, just like you would if you're at the park and you saw another mom with a 4-year-old. So you, right, I have a 4-year-old. You'd start talking, right? Like, boy, mom, let's unite, right? So if you're in a mom's group on Facebook, do the same thing. What would you say to them? And so if you can just let down this wall of like, okay, it's like, what am I supposed to say on social media, and just pretend you were in the real world, right? Like, what would you do? You could guide yourself, right? So that's connecting. And then the last is the income producing side, which is the action. This is where you want to focus on creating conversions. This is where now you're getting out there and you're actually, conversing with those new connections that you've been nurturing, and you're offering your business or product. Right? So this is where you can create conversions. This is where you spend time following up. You spend time looking at maybe your Excel sheet, however you track if you send samples out, right? Gosh, I don't anymore. But if you do, this is how every day it's like a reminder, okay, follow up with the people I gave samples to last week, right? So super simple stuff so you can stay organized and not be like, I've got to send this person and follow up with that person. And right, I'm all about tracking and systems because there's a lot up here and I've got to keep it organized. So that's kind of some inside. The post. Okay. Inga, I'm going to give them the post. Okay. So I'm a squirrel. So if you haven't learned, and if you can notice I'm a squirrel, go ahead and drop 3 in the comments, drop a 3. I definitely have my squirrely ways. I'm going to give you this post. Okay. This is my gift to you. And you're going to be like, what? I'm not posting that. But I promise you, if you post it, you're going to see what I mean. You just have to trust the process. And I know we just met, but I'm telling you, I've helped hundreds through my challenge boost their social media by using this post. But first, I'm going to tell you, what's the point of it? Okay, the point is that you want to boost your algorithm. The sad part is, if you're posting right now, you might be wondering why you're not getting a lot of engagement or comments. And it's because Facebook doesn't show your posts to everyone on your profile, to all your friends. So when you start to create engagement and comments on a post, Facebook actually says, let me send it to more people. And the more comments you get, it sends it to a new group of people. And as more people start to comment, guess what you post tomorrow and later this week, they're going to finally actually see now, because Facebook's like, oh, they liked their content. They commented on it. We're going to start to show them more of their feed, because they've been not showing your feed to those people for the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. Okay. So I'm going to give you the post. If you're ready, say I'm ready. Say I'm ready. Okay. Write this down. Okay. You're going to want to first off do it in one of those little thingamabobs. Like, when you can post it. Now, this specifically works for Facebook. You can definitely use this in other areas, but this is proven for Facebook, because I live in like Facebook land. You're going to want to use one of these little colored things like boxes. And you're just going to want to say this: trying to settle a debate. Do noodles go in chili? And then put like a arrow sign down. Trying to settle a debate. Do noodles go in chili? Now, you're like, what? What does chili have to do with growing my business? What is the root of business? The root of business is relationship. And if we're not in relationship with people, we can't do business, right? So we want to make people laugh, for one, because it's funny. And it's really funny when you start to if you do this, you'll see people are like, no, absolutely not. That's crazy. Yes, it's called Cincinnati chili. Like, people start getting in debates. They start messaging each other. The algorithm over here is like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Like, Megan has people from different worlds like commenting with each other in her post. They're like, wow, Megan is likable. Like, whoa, Inga's post is blowing up. Like, let's show it to more people. We got to start showing more of Inga's content to more people, because guess what? When people engage on content, people spend more time on the platform. And that's the ultimate goal of Facebook. All social media platforms, they want you to spend more time. So as a content creator, if we're producing content that engages people, they are going to share it more. That's how things go viral, right? Because they're like, oh, this is catching people's attention. We want more people to stay on TikTok till 2 a.m. and not get sleep. Right? So, okay. So that's what it has to do. So we just want to make people laugh. And you'll also start to see people that you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't talked to this person since high school. It's been 10 years. It's been 15 years, 20 years. Guess what? It's a door opener. So now, instead of reaching out to someone out of the blue randomly, being like, hey, how are you? For them to be like, oh, she's just trying to sell me her thing. They just commented. They opened the door to conversation. So now, I'm not saying you throw your product at them, but you can reconnect and nourish and foster that old connection and just catch up with them. Be authentic. Get to find out what's new in their life, right? So you can comment and reply and then switch over to the DMs. So I just went on a whole tangent, but I hope that post helps. Inga, if you have any questions about that, let me know. But that's kind of what, the whole blueprint is about creating more engagement, getting more eyeballs on you, attracting more people to message you. Hey, what's that thing you're doing? Hey, what are you doing? Like, wanting more of connection with you to convert more sales and recruits.
Awesome, girl. So I am curious. Now, when you put that post up like that, if, say, everyone that watched this video did that, and we know they're not, but just say they did, how do you think Facebook is going to react? Because it's going to be the same post. I mean, I guess it will be slightly different because people will have different backgrounds and everything. But do you think that would actually slow the algorithm down as a result of doing that? Because everybody was doing it, or what? I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So far, we have not seen anything like that happen. One of which, because it's like a food related item. So it's not like Facebook really isn't tracking like recipes and, stuff like that. It's not like it's a party post. Like, hey, looking for it's not like it's a salesy post that Facebook would be like, oh, this is just some network marketing company that's given a post to their consultants to post all over the internet, right? The other thing is too, you guys are still finding about it early. Like, this is stuff that I've trained in my challenge, but we've probably had under 1,000 go through just recently. And, not everyone actually posted it, right? So it's still kind of fresh. But I wouldn't worry about that because I mean, like I'm just pulling up. So like someone got 10 comments in the first minute. Another person got 511 comments. Someone got 237 comments. I usually get between 250 and 350. I post this once a year. So I've done it for the last like 4 years. So yeah, I say try it out because I can guarantee you, I put my money on it. You're going to get more engagement than you have in a while. So yeah, great question though.
That's awesome. So that's one of the things that, people constantly hear me reiterating, that when you get an idea, when somebody gives you an idea, you got to implement it for it to work. I mean, it's not going to work if you just hear about it and do nothing with it, right? So I'm hoping that you guys that are watching today are going to implement this and, just try it. Well, you can't knock it till you try it. I mean, even if you got 20 leads from this, I mean, that's more than what you had yesterday, probably, if you hadn't done anything else. So I would highly recommend you guys do this. So I am curious, girl, you got a lot going on. You're a single mom, you're an entrepreneur, you are really active in your church. How do you manage it all?
That's a great question. So I'm a big advocate for systems, which is funny because I've always been the person to get into a business and I go way hard. I'm like, I don't need to take time to set that up or set up systems. I just need to bring the people, and I go balls to the wall. And then, excuse me, can I say that on here? And then I'm like burnt out, right? Have you been there? If you've been there, drop a 4 in the comments. So once I became a mom, especially, I realized it was so important for me to build structure and really create that optimization that I've talked about. So I have checklists for everything. I use a platform called Monday.com. It's a project management platform. I've tried several and this has been my favorite so far. But I mean, I'm so weird that okay, so if you guys can see this, I had this like checklist here. Like this is what my son does. And call me OCD, but it doesn't mean that he has to do everything on here strictly at the right time. But they're reminders, right? Like he's got to remember to do X, Y, Z. Then I've got my checklist over there with my miracle morning routine. Like, I've got to stay focused on the things that are important. But so I use everything from project management checklists to like, I even have a weekly checklist, like, make sure the fridge gets cleaned out, make sure to clean out the car, because if I stay on top of things, it's just so simple, right? To like keep smooth sailing. Like right before this, we went to McDonald's to the Play Center and have pancakes. And then I came back 10 minutes before this interview, like, because I've got a pretty smooth process for things. But, I say no systems, no freedom, right? No systems, no freedom. So you got to have systems. The second thing is I do have a virtual team of virtual assistants. So, I've got at any time 3 or 4 people that are doing a lot of the stuff for me. So at this point, a lot of my blueprint has been outsourced. I also have a 1-hour workday checklist just for leaders that is being finalized right now. And that's the stuff that, virtual assistants do as well. And just really outsourcing because I know that my time is best spent either with my son or in front of people with my business, right? So outsourcing those things that, okay, like, hiring a cleaner could be outsourcing. Like if you know that you're trying to make an extra $1,000 in your business a month or even, 500, and you've got 3 hours to work, and you know that if you really focus, you could probably hit that extra bonus and make that extra 400 just by focusing those 3 hours. Well, wouldn't it be worth paying a house cleaner for 80 to 100? You see, like you make 400, your expense is 80 or 100, right? So you're 4 times in your income. So that's another way you can outsource. But yeah, so definitely making sure that you're focused on that I'm focused on being productive with my time and getting the most results. Like I've said a lot of times, making sure you're maximizing that time. And I wish I had the book because I have the example of what optimization means. And I have a couple quick tips on optimization. How are we on time, Inga? Like, would you like me to give 1 or 2 of those optimizing tips?
Yeah, sure. If you're willing to give, for sure.
Okay, cool. So if you guys are with us still, where are we at? Number 5. So go ahead and drop a 5 in the comments if you want to hear my best 2 optimizing tips. These are in my ebook, but I'm going to give them to you right now for free because they have changed my life. So number 1 is setting a timer. And some of you probably already do this, right? But I get really clear about my nooks and crannies. So that's why I love my 1-hour workday checklist, because it's like, I have 15 minutes. What's the next thing on the checklist that I need to do? And boom, boom, boom. And then I can tell my son starts to get like bored and it's like, okay, done. And then I can come back later in the day after nap time and boom, 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 right? But one thing, like if you have other things in your life, right? I make a checklist for everything. So I have 15 minutes and we all have that ongoing household to-do list, right? It's like, cancel this, redo this bill, set up this, call the doctors, all this stuff. So I set the 15-minute timer and I write down 3 mini things or like 1 big thing to accomplish. So I get super laser focused about what I'm going to accomplish in just 15 minutes. And sometimes it's as simple as, send out an email, call the doctor to schedule this appointment, and, pay this bill. Like super simple. But I know in 15 minutes, I'm not going to be where I started and not having accomplished anything because I spent so much time distracting myself trying to do everything at once. So that's my first thing. Get clear and super focused on what you're going to accomplish in those 15 minutes. The second is find a space where you can work and just work. Now, right now, I'm right next to my kitchen. I don't normally work here. But the reason I'm here is because I wanted to be present for you guys and not be distracted by all my work things and everything. Because neurons that fire together, wire together. And what that means is that if you're trying to do work in the same place you sleep, play, hang out, eat, your brain is going to be more likely to get distracted. So it doesn't mean that if you don't have your office, like you can't work at your kitchen table, but maybe you typically sit on the other side. And when you work, you sit on this side. Does that make sense? Like that activity. The other thing is when I'm working, I listen to EDM or house music, and I only listen to that when I'm working, like when I'm like creating content, like trying to stay super laser focused, because that wires my brain. That fires my brain to say, oh, it's work time. And so I can jam out and like do like a whole email series. I can create like 5 reels in 15 minutes. I can pre-schedule a whole week's worth of content in my group just in those couple of minutes, because my brain is literally like is literally telling it like it's work time. And so I am so laser focused. And by meeting me today, you're probably like, wow, that girl's a squirrel. How did she get it all done? It's true. It's just science, right? Like I just use these tips that optimize my time. So I hope that helps. But I'm super passionate about sharing those, because it's like sometimes we're running around trying to do everything with like our heads cut off like a chicken. And we end up ending the day like, what did I get done? So.
Yes, I have definitely been there, girl. Been there and done that. Well, girl, you gave us some great nuggets today. I am so excited about all the information that you gave us. And I'm just hoping that the viewers are going to be able to implement these things that you have shared with us. So I know you have some goodies to share. So I'm going to put up your website you had given me and just kind of tell everybody what this website is and what's in it and how it can benefit them.
Absolutely. Well, first off, I just want to thank you for staying until the end. And like Inga, thank you again for having me. I believe that anyone in this business can thrive. If you met me almost 10 years ago, you'd be like, there's no way that this woman's going to go out there and make almost $1 million in network marketing. There's no way. I was living out of my car for a few months because I was so dedicated. I didn't want to work. So I was working my business. I was 21 at the time, living the gypsy life. I was doing everything that they told me to do, but I was getting no after no. In my first 4 years in the industry, I made under $1,000, 4 years. But for some reason, I stuck with it. And guess what? I aligned with an amazing mentor. I became a mom, so I built some daily discipline, and I followed a super simple system, and I partnered with, a company that had systems. And so I just want you to know that your goals, your dreams are available to you. You've just got to have the mindset and be willing to be consistent every day. How can you touch your business every day? Maybe not Saturday and Sunday. If you want to take the weekend off, that's fine. I take Sundays off, but how can you touch your business every day? That means, can you at least post in your VIP group if you use those, or make your personal profile post? Every day isn't going to be perfect. It's about progression, not perfection. But how can you wake up and say, you know what? I can't do it all today, but I can do this. What can you do to touch your business? Is it doing that one post? Is it doing a reel? Is it doing half of the checklist and being like, I'm done. I can't finish it all. But how can you stay consistent every day? Because if you can just take one step at a time, you will eventually meet your end goal. Okay. So anyways, so if you want to grab the checklist step by step and follow this super simple blueprint to attract more customers to you without spamming your friends and family, you can go to www.onehourworkdaychecklist.com. It's my free gift to you. I'm so excited. This is the exact framework that I use to grow a multi-million-dollar organization, earn multiple six figures in the industry, and really just have a lot of time, freedom, and balance in my life and have my brain together, if you know what I mean. So www.onehourworkdaychecklist.com. My hope is that you can use this, take it, implement it into your business to rock it and grow a thriving direct selling or network marketing business. And so just want to thank all of you again today. Go ahead and drop your biggest takeaway in the comments. And Inga, thank you so much for having me here. You're such an incredible presence and so much passion. And I just love what you're doing to help the industry as a whole. So thank you so much.
Oh, you are so welcome, girlfriend. And I'm so excited that you were able to share your knowledge and wisdom with us, that all we have to do is implement it, and even just go to your website and get the step-by-step strategy on how to get it done. So thanks everyone for watching. If you're watching on the replay, type in hashtag replay. If you're looking at this live, be sure to type in hashtag live, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye.